If you haven't already heard that Arcata okayed shrooms, it may be because you only read or watch the mainstream media, not local Humboldt County newspapers. In this video, I'm going to talk about what was decriminalized by the unanimous resolution passed by the City of Arcata, California. Because according to our local news media, Arcata City Council member Sarah Schaefer said plants like psilocybin, like mescaline, like ayahuasca have been used for all of these different reasons. And if that sounded like word soup to you, try to get through the rest of this video. Shrooms, as the Lost Coast Outpost called them, also known as psychedelic mushrooms or psilocybin mushrooms, are now decriminalized in Arcata, California. DMT is now decriminalized in Arcata, California. Psychedelic cactuses and many other psychedelics that could be defined under the very broad definition of what they defined psychedelics, or entheogens as they called them, are now decriminalized in Arcata, California, which is in Humboldt County, California, where I live. Here is a short snippet of the City of Arcata's City Council meeting where they decriminalized entheogens, which was listed as Matter A in the old business section of their meeting. I will show a longer video clip later on in this video. I'm sorry you cannot actually see them raising their hands to unanimously vote yes, but I literally copied this from their live stream.
Nope, it's a resolution, so it would be, you would just be adopting the resolution, and you would be adopting resolution 212-17. Do you have it in front of you? Okay.
So I move that we adopt resolution number 212-17 to decriminalize entheogens in Arcata with the present language changes.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Decriminalized Nature. Definitely put in a lot of work and it paid off. Next on the agenda, consider the amended City of Arcata 2021 and 2023 legislative platform. May we please have a staff report?
I would like to end this way too long intro by pointing out the highlighted word. The law passed by the City of Arcata, California, specifically allows distributing these entheogens or psychedelics or whatever you want to call them. Now please enjoy my full video about this breaking news. Hi people, it's Adrienne Floreen, and I have some breaking news to break to you. A few days ago, the City of Arcata, California, which is located in Humboldt County, California, where I live, decriminalized all natural psychedelics, including mushrooms containing psilocybin, psilocybin itself, peyote, and other psychedelic cactuses, and mescaline itself, and psychedelics containing dimethyltryptamine and dimethyltryptamine itself. Yes, people, Arcata, California, decriminalized all natural psychedelics, including DMT, of course. And of course, their resolution, which decriminalized plants containing DMT and DMT itself, included this in its whereas statements, which in layman's terms means a list of the reasons that a law is being passed. Entheogenic plants or combinations of plants, such as ayahuasca, contain dimethyltryptamine. So what they're saying is they're passing a law to decriminalize dimethyltryptamine or plants that contain it because they contain it. Remember what I said earlier about words to people? And we're only like 6 minutes into my video so far. I am sorry not to break this breaking news to you like minutes after it happened, or even the day it happened, because as I said earlier, it happened a few days ago. But a lot has been going on in my life, and I have been working on a lot of videos, including a very long interview, ironically, with somebody who was in prison for more than 20 years for a psychedelic drug. That was the last video that I published. So I am sorry that I did not break the breaking good news to you immediately, minutes after, or at least the day that it happened. But I'm breaking it to you right now, people. And I guess that's okay, people, because only the local Humboldt County, California reporters seem to have reported this news so far, and they seem to be confused about what exactly was decriminalized and what to call what was decriminalized in their news articles. Shrooms, as the Lost Coast Outpost called them, also known as psychedelic mushrooms or psilocybin mushrooms, are now decriminalized in Arcata, California. DMT is now decriminalized in Arcata, California. Psychedelic cactuses and many other psychedelics that could be defined under the very broad definition of what they defined psychedelics or entheogens, as they called them, are now decriminalized in Arcata, California, which is in Humboldt County, California, where I live. And I do not live in Arcata, but I live very close to it, which makes this situation even more bizarre, because it means that, like, I could go to Arcata and technically, at least according to city law, legally trip out in Arcata on numerous psychedelics, but I would have to, like, purchase them there and consume them there and not, like, actually possess them outside of city lines. Basically meaning that I could, like, technically, somewhat legally, according to their own city laws, but not the county laws, legally, like, do them there, and even legally come back to my house while intoxicated on them, but not actually, like, possess them outside of the city limits of Arcata. I guess I would have to have a designated driver to take me back to my own home. Basically, them passing this law puts people in Humboldt County, California, who want to use psychedelics in a very awkward situation, because it means they can legally, under Arcata city law, but not Humboldt County law that the city of Arcata is in, use them in Arcata, but they cannot, like, take them home to their own homes. So I guess that people who want to trip out can buy their psychedelics in Arcata now, ingest them in Arcata, and hopefully not drive home while intoxicated. Perhaps they could take a taxi, take a bus, walk home. If they live just outside the city limits, have a designated driver. Or perhaps they could stay in Arcata, California, while they are tripping out and go to the Arcata Community Forest to see the trails. And yes, I realize that this website says trail maps. I think the county of Humboldt, that's basically decriminalized heroin because they allow an organization to give away free drug needles to heroin users and have like areas where the police allow the heroin users to shoot up and basically like leave them alone while they're doing so, should probably just decriminalize all natural psychedelics like Arcata did, because it really doesn't make sense that within Arcata you can legally, by city law but not county law, use these psychedelic drugs, but in the rest of the county it's still highly illegal to do so, and you could get arrested for doing so. And like walking like 1 foot from what is the city of Arcata to like 1 foot over here that is outside of the city limits. But a county area could be the difference of whether or not you are treated as a criminal. Like, that is absolutely, utterly absurd. And the county that promotes the usage of heroin should immediately change their laws to be in line with the city of Arcata's laws, because to not do so would not make sense. I am now going to show you a longer video clip of the Arcata City Council decriminalizing psychedelics. This was live streamed on the City of Arcata's official YouTube channel. So, first of all, I must explain that the reason it says old business, a dot, decriminalize entheogens is that when a matter is given a continuance, meaning it is continued to the next board meeting, meaning they are not going to discuss it anymore at the current board meeting, but are going to continue to discuss it at the next board meeting. Some government bodies put this in a category called old business. So while it may seem like a joke that old business is decriminalizing psychedelic drugs to the world, this is just like legal terminology and the way that city councils and boards of supervisors and other government bodies word things. So for some reason, the City of Arcata's live stream did not include an actual video of the city council voting on this matter, and did not include a video of the city council until they voted yes on this matter and started to discuss matter B, a legislative matter.
So do we have any more comments?
I don't know. I want it to be something that we're all comfortable with before we move forward. But I mean, I'm ready to move forward if that's where we're sitting right now. With this language addition or not, I'm not picking it up quite yet. So I just want to, give anybody else want to throw in on that. I think now's the time. But we could take it out too and just go for it.
Yeah, I'm willing to vote yes with the language addition you suggested, and it's currently up on the screen. So, absent of that, I'm a no.
Nope, it's a resolution, so it would be, you would just be adopting the resolution, and you would be adopting resolution 212-17. Do you have it in front of you? Okay.
So I move that we adopt resolution number 212-17 to decriminalize entheogens in Arcata with the present language changes.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Decriminalized Nature. Definitely put in a lot of work, and it paid off. Next on the agenda, consider the amended City of Arcata 2021 and 2023 legislative platform. May we please have a staff report?
Now that you have watched that, I am going to show you the wording of the actual resolution that was passed and the wording of news articles from our local media about this breaking news. In this article called Let's Talk Psychedelics, Arcata City Council member Sarah Schaefer on the council's recent decriminalization of entheogens, the Lost Coast Outpost says, you've probably heard by now that the Arcata City Council recently passed a resolution decriminalizing the use of psychedelic plants and fungi. If you haven't, read about it here. And if you click on the highlighted link, it brings you to this. So if you haven't heard by now that the Arcata City Council recently passed a resolution decriminalizing the use of psychedelic plants and fungi, perhaps it's because the link that you clicked led you to a page that did not exist. Anyway, enough about the link to the page that does not exist. In this article, the Lost Coast Outpost quotes Sarah Schaefer, who can be seen in this blurry picture amid the redwoods, staring upwards into outer space, telling the outpost plants like psilocybin, like mescaline, like ayahuasca have been used for all of these purposes for millennia. Okay, people, can anybody watching this video tell me what ayahuasca is? Is ayahuasca a plant, or is it a combination of plants? Can anybody tell me what psilocybin is, or what mescaline is? Are psilocybin and mescaline plants, or are they chemicals extracted from plants? It sounds like Sarah Schaefer sounds like a blooming idiot with flowers blooming out of her head that she thinks are light bulbs, who is a person who also does not know what she is talking about until you consider who wrote this article and exactly how this article is worded. Plants, dash, like psilocybin, ayahuasca, dash, have been used. What was, where the dash is now. Let me tell you what Sarah Schaefer most likely said. I will replace what was omitted with my best guess right now. Plants, like mushrooms and cacti, which contain chemicals like psilocybin, like mescaline, like ayahuasca, which contains dimethyltryptamine, have been used in traditional ceremonies and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, whenever the Lost Coast Outpost had their reporter take that picture of Sarah Schaefer amid the redwoods, they most likely took hundreds of beautiful pictures, showed her a bunch of them, said, does this look good? Can we use pictures that we took of you in our article? And she happily said yes. When they asked if they could quote her, she happily said yes. And then they made her look like a fool, basically, by omitting certain words and making her sensible statement look like a flock of words where something went wrong. Basically meaning making it look like gibberish. And if I say something like, it sounds like a flock of words where something went wrong, and you do not understand that I am quoting a song, feel free to do what somebody did on Facebook and demand to know my flock source in a public Facebook post. Anyway, to find the page that could not be found, I Googled it and I found this news article by the Lost Coast Outpost, which says Arcata residents 21 and older can now use magic mushrooms, ayahuasca, mescaline, and other psychedelic plants or mushrooms without fears of legal repercussions. I cannot even read this word soup, flock of words, or whatever you want to call it, without almost laughing. Omitting a few words, they said they could use magic mushrooms, mescaline, and other psychedelic plants or mushrooms. Then, after talking about what Karen said and talking about what scientists from Johns Hopkins University said, they say that several other cities, including Oakland and Santa Cruz, have decriminalized psychedelics. Actually, Oakland decriminalized entheogenic plants and went out of their way not to use the words drugs or psychedelics, which I criticized them for at their city council meeting when they voted to pass that law, which is in my video about it. The Lost Coast Outpost then goes on to say that Mayor Brett Watson had concerns over the potential repercussions of people using psychedelics without proper guidance. I expressed concerns over the potential repercussions of Mayor Brett Watson driving while wasted drunk while smoking a controlled substance suspected to be methamphetamines or crack cocaine and running over police cones put up to prevent cars from running into a roadside hazard. In this video, which I will now show you a clip of. In honor of Brett Watson, I am going to take a shot of tequila on camera and pour it over my head. Because what do you think? I want to be wasted drunk in one of my YouTube videos? It would be bad enough if Joe Blow from Idaho got arrested driving drunk, smoking narcotics, running over police flares in the middle of the night on the freeway. But you're not Joe Blow from Idaho. You're like Brett Watson, the mayor of Arcata. Oh my God, it's going in my eye and burning. So it would be stupid enough to be a normal, everyday citizen, not a known person, and go drive drunk down the road while smoking narcotics. But if you're like a known person, like a mayor or a YouTuber like me, how stupid could you fucking be? You didn't just drive drunk, smoking drugs, and drive over police flares as a person. You did it as the mayor of a city that's infamous for drugs, that just made the international news a month ago because you were trying to decriminalize certain drugs. And by the way, people, I've seen this picture of psilocybin cyanescence, a type of psychedelic now decriminalized in Arcata, once before in a news article I'm about to show you a screenshot of. But before I show it to you, why did they call it that? That is a type of hallucinogenic mushroom or entheogenic mushroom or psilocybin mushroom that contains psilocybin, a species that grows natively not only in Humboldt County, California, but in California, Oregon, and Washington. Not a type of psychedelic, now decriminalized in Arcata with zero context. Here's some context. Here's the news article where I first saw that picture. God only knows where the Lost Coast Outpost got it. Maybe on Google? Alright, people. Enough reading what ridiculous reporters have to say about this issue. Let's go straight to the source. Let's read the original resolution passed by the City of Arcata, because surely this law passed by a government body must be sensible and must be written in sensible and coherent wording. Their first reason, which in legal terminology is called a whereas statement, states entheogenic plants and fungi, entheogenic plants, based on the term entheogen, originally conceived by a working group of anthropologists and ethnobotanists in 1979, comma defined, with no spaces, 1979, comma defined, herein as the full spectrum of plants, fungi, and natural materials, and or their extracted compounds, limited to those containing the following types of compounds: indole, amines, tryptamines, and phenethylamines that can benefit psychological and physical wellness, support and enhance religious and spiritual practices, and can reestablish humans' unalienable and direct relationship to nature. Surely, after reading that, or listening to me read it to you, you will understand exactly what psychedelic drugs or entheogenic compounds Arcata, California just decriminalized. And it gets worse, because one of the compounds or chemicals they decriminalized is a tryptamine called dimethyltryptamine. Let's read what they said about dimethyltryptamine in their statement about why they decriminalized dimethyltryptamine and plants containing it. Because I know I talked about this in the intro to my video, but this statement is so off the hook that I just have to mention it again. They are decriminalizing dimethyltryptamine and entheogenic plants containing dimethyltryptamine because entheogenic plants, or combinations of plants, such as ayahuasca, contain dimethyltryptamine. What they say after this statement is just adding details. What they are saying is, we are decriminalizing DMT and plants that contain DMT because plants contain DMT. And even though I firmly believe the stuff should not only be decriminalized but fully legalized, if I didn't know anything about it and didn't believe such, saying that to me would not convince me, but surely would confuse me very much. And there are all kinds of weird and loaded terms in this resolution, like healthy normals. Does the City of Arcata think that healthy normal people need to use psychedelics, like psilocybin and dimethyltryptamine? And terms like distributing, which is defined as allowed, with very little to no rules surrounding it or context. Like, what level of distributing of psychedelics is now allowed in the City of Arcata, California? And what levels of planting, cultivating, purchasing, transferring, etc. are allowed? I wonder. Don't you people? Check out a few short video clips that another YouTuber recorded of somebody's shroom factory in Oakland, California, where shrooms were okayed a few years ago. And then I will ask you a question after you watch these short video clips.
Right, here we are.
So this is your lab.
Yep.
And what do you got going on? What's with these? Looks like vats of trucker piss. What is this exactly?
These are liquid cultures. So they have different fungi growing in them.
Okay, so these are liquid cultures, and why are they vibrating like that? Why is it agitating them?
Keeps them oxygenated.
That's just mycelium in it. There's no spores.
Yeah, it's mycelium. I autoclaved them and they're sterile.
So what would you do with these then?
Well, I'm going to use them to inoculate more liquid cultures. There's Amanita muscaria, Amanita pantherina, and Ophiocordyceps heterophylla.
So Amanita, those are mycorrhizal, of course. They form a symbiosis with oaks and pines, and but they also have a saprotrophic phase, technically, or what's going on?
Yeah, all the mycorrhizal mushrooms are saprotrophic until they form the association with the tree roots. This one is Psilocybe ovoidiocystidiata from Washington. So that one's really closely related to Psilocybe cubensis, but it grows in wood chip landscaping. And then over there is Psilocybe neohalapensis from Veracruz, Mexico. And this is a passiflora with ultraviolet light.
Yeah, you can see the pollen grains, the individual pollen grains on
Yeah,
the
the pollen super fluorescent.
on the anthers.
And the Psilocybe cyanescens from Florence, Oregon.
And what is going on with this webby stuff? Is that a
That's
partial
the
veil?
Yeah. So it covers the gills until the spores mature, and then it drops down.
And you've got these undulate margins on the cap.
Yeah, they're getting wavy.
It's quite a psychoactive species.
Yeah, they're really strong.
And what are these over here?
This is the Chilocystidia of Psilocybe aztecorum. I just got my microscope here set up for differential interference contrast today. And so that's this one here, this Olympus BX41. And
The Olympus BX41.
Yeah.
See, it's got the tag on there. It says that nice. Now,
Yeah.
what is going on with this? This looks like something very breakable.
no, it's not super breakable. But I put plan achromatic lenses, objectives in it, so it has really good resolution at the high magnifications.
And what's the highest magnification it can reach?
1,000, which is the limit that light can do.
Now, what is this silo test? Do you want to explain it to me?
So this is a psilocybin test, and so what I do is extract the psilocybin, and then it changes the color of this liquid here, and you can kind of compare it and see exactly how much psilocybin is in a sample. And then in a few minutes, I'm going to run PCR, so make a DNA sequence.
And I
of
explained
it.
to that what a polymerase chain reaction is, just amplifying DNA, making multiple copies so you can get a better look at a particular gene region.
Yeah, we have all that stuff over here. This is what I'm working on now. This is Loradiomyces culucatus, so a really rare mushroom that grows at high elevation in the mountains of California. And then this one looks like Loradiomyces culucatus, but it's actually a new species of psilocybe. And I tested this one, and it came up with 2% psilocybin, so it's one of the strongest psilocybin
So this is an
mushrooms.
undescribed species.
Yeah,
of,
so this one doesn't have a name yet, but it grows in the high elevation mountains of California.
Okay, people, here's the question. In a small town on the California coast, surrounded by mountains, that just passed a law that is way less restrictive than the law that Oakland passed, decriminalizing psychedelics, because the law Oakland passed was way more specific about what psychedelics they were decriminalizing and did not allow distribution. Exactly what can we get away with doing in regards to doing anything with psychedelics in Arcata, California right now? Like, if that guy in that video you just saw is getting away with that in Oakland, what can we get away with in Arcata, California? Think about that, people. And get back to me in the comment section of this video, or perhaps in private messages. And with that said, I am now going to end this video. Thank you for watching this video, people. Please like this video, share this video, watch my other videos, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see my other videos, the ones that YouTube has deleted off of YouTube, you can see them on my BitChute channel. Bye, people.